All right, how's it going, everybody? Today, for some reason, I'm just feeling like being in a creepy mood. I mean, well, hold on. That's hold time out. Let me rephrase that. Today, I'm feeling I'm into the scary stuff today. I hope that sounded better than me being in a creepy mood. I'm not in a creepy mood. I am in a want to get creeped out mood. Is that better? I guess I don't. Anyways. The thing is, today we're going to be reacting to 5 lesser known but truly creepy cults. I don't know why. Actually no, I do know why. So I like to create characters and stories around blah 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 and whatnot. Anyways, so one of the characters is going to be not joining a cult, kind of joining, but more infiltrating a cult. And yeah. I don't know. So I don't want to call it a fascination, but I've had this, not interest either. This, I kind of want to know more so I can kind of create a creepy cult that is believable, but also not real, hopefully. I don't know how to, yeah. I just want to, yeah. So let's check out some of the 5 lesser known but still creepy cults. I don't know what to expect. Hopefully there's nothing that is, I don't know. You know what? Let's just. Hopefully, it's good. Let's go. Ugh, that's a bit unsettling.
5 lesser known but truly creepy cults.
I'm kind of curious how many of them are going to be Christian
the
based.
Manson family, the Moonies, Nexium, and other infamous groups.
Nope.
However, there are several
Manson,
cults
yes.
and religious sects out there whose bizarre beliefs, practices, and rituals would make ancient paganism appear sane. Here are 5 lesser known but truly creepy cults.
I need to just do regular cults to see.
Number 5.
Some normal ones.
Raalism. Raalism is a mostly secretive religion that believes in the existence of extraterrestrial beings. They claim that humans originated from these creatures from outer space. Founded in the 1970s, this religion
UFO
was
land?
the brainchild of Claude Varillon, a famous French sports car journalist and test driver. He claimed to have an encounter with aliens,
Oh,
and
great.
later formed the Raalism movement.
Listen, like, I get believing in aliens. Like, I believe aliens exist. You know, like to think that we are alone in this massive fucking universe is kind of silly. So it's like we're bound to think that aliens exist. But to be worshiping them is a whole completely another thing. That's kind of weird. But then again, religion in itself could be kind of weird as well.
He also changed his name to Ra, which means messenger of the Elohim.
Of the who?
The concept of the religion revolves around the belief that otherworldly creatures called Elohim created humans with their advanced technology.
Ooh.
This superior race later sent messengers back to Earth in human form, including Buddha, Muhammad, Jesus, and Ra, who also happens to be the 40th and final prophet.
Final prophet?
While their beliefs are somewhat strange, Raalism has some sound values. They advocate for world peace, communal sharing, and a democratic system. They also have a very liberal view on sexuality, saying that the pursuit of sexual pleasure enhances intelligence by creating new pathways for neurons in the brain.
It also is a great way to spread disease and infection. I mean, but you do you know. Have fun with it. Enjoy your life.
Gathered an enormous following in Asia, particularly in South Korea. At its peak, they had at least 20,000 members worldwide. But while Raalism is mostly harmless on the surface, it took a strange turn a couple of decades after its inception.
Great. In the 90s?
In 1997, a few months after the birth of Dolly, the famous sheep clone, the Raalism sect established a company called Valiant Venture. The purpose of this company was to explore commercial applications of cloning technology on humans. In 2002, they made the bold claim that they had successfully cloned a human being.
Says cult.
But without any scientific proof, experts quickly debunked these claims.
We cloned a human being. We had a man and a woman do the dirty, and we cloned a baby. It'll take 9 months.
That didn't stop the company from continuing its commercial activities. They soon put up embryonic cell fusion devices for sale at $9,000 apiece.
Who bought that?
And nobody quite knew what the device was exactly or what it did. But still, some people decided to purchase it, and unsurprisingly, it turned out to be a scam.
Okay.
Valiant Ventures soon found multiple lawsuits piling up against them, and as a result, the number of Raalists began to dwindle. But while the story of Raalism and Valiant Venture may seem goofy to many, it may surprise you that there are still thousands of Raalists around the world as we speak.
Great.
Number 4, Chen Tao.
So that one's not as creepy as I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like children sacrifices and other weird sacrifices of other animals and things. I thought that's what we're going with, or murdering, or just yeah.
Chen Tao is a religion with elements of Buddhism, Christianity, and ufology.
Of course.
Its founder, Chen Hongmin, was a former professor of sociology at Chainan College of Pharmacology and Science in Taiwan. The Chen Tao sect, which is also called the True Way cult, believes that our Earth went through 5 tribulations, the first of which occurred in the age of the dinosaurs.
Ooh.
During these tribulations, God rescued a few chosen people in North America by taking them in a flying saucer.
Why North America and not somewhere else?
Chen and his followers also believe that our universe is 4.5 trillion years old, 300 times older than what science actually says, and it was formed by a nuclear war. From Taiwan, the cult leader convinced his followers to move to San Dimas, California, where they would await God's coming. The group, along with each of their family members, migrated there around 1995.
Great.
2 years later, Chen Hongmin became convinced that Garland, Texas, would be the place where God would descend.
And then he's going to show up in Ontario, Canada, and then down to Mexico, and then for some reason he's going to be in Belize or Nicaragua. Like, come on.
To his ears, Garland sounded like Godland. He moved to Texas in 1997, and his congregation followed him without any questions. Shortly after arriving to their promised land, Chen made a bold prophecy, one that would eventually be the undoing of his loyal cult.
Not so loyal.
He proclaimed that at exactly 12:01 a.m. on March 31st, 1998, God would be seen on a single television channel all across North America. At the time of this prophecy, Chen Tao had 160 members. Most of these families were well-to-do, and they lived in an upper-middle-class neighborhood in Garland. However, their neighbors weren't exactly pleased with their arrival. The sudden influx of religious Taiwanese unsettled the residents of Garland, and Chen's claims of God's broadcasting event only worsened things. People in the town feared that things could turn violent. However, at 12:01 a.m. on March 31st, nothing happened. The Chen Tao followers appeared confused, but to the relief of many residents, all they did was walk back into their homes. Chen Hongmin admitted that he may have misunderstood God's plan.
Wow,
he offered
that's
himself
shocking.
to be stoned for the failed event, but no one obliged. Turns out this wasn't the first time his prophecy flopped. Earlier on, he claimed that they would find the reincarnation of Jesus in the West and that he would look like Abraham Lincoln. In the weeks that followed,
What the heck?
Chen once again urged his flock to relocate to New York State. However, many of the cultists were facing legal problems concerning their visa status in the United States, and so most of them just returned home to their country.
Wow.
Number 3, Aum Shinrikyo. Aum Shinrikyo, which translates to Supreme Truth, is a doomsday cult that was headed by Matsumoto Chizuo, a semi-blind quasi-mystic who later changed his name to Asahara Shoko. The group began in the 1980s as a spiritual movement, mixing the doctrines of Hinduism and Buddhism. Later on, elements of apocalyptic prophecies were added into the mix. Asahara declared himself to be the new Christ and the enlightened one after Buddha.
I'm sorry, you can't just declare yourself. Oh, I guess. I feel like you can't really declare yourself something like that, right? But then again, Jesus did as well, right? In Christianity, he's like, oh, I am the Son of God. Wait, did he declare that? I don't know. But, yeah, okay. I guess you can declare it.
As the sect is also called, gained official status as a religious movement in Japan in 1989. At its peak, the New Age religion amassed tens of thousands of followers worldwide. Asahara, who had once been a broke businessman, began living an extravagant life.
Nice for him.
He was driven around in Rolls-Royce cars, shuttled in a military-grade helicopter, and rode in private jets. His exorbitant lifestyle was supported by his followers, who he promised a calm, serene, and meaningful life in return for their offerings. However, things all changed.
Uh-oh.
The followers started becoming paranoid of a doomed future. They began to believe that the world would collapse into a World War III, which the United States would start. They also believed that members would be the only people to survive. This paranoia led to an inward shift of the group's ideologies. From a peaceful disposition, morphed into a violent movement. They encouraged violence not only against outsiders but also amongst themselves.
Great.
Anybody that dared to leave the cult was killed. Their bodies were then incinerated in a microwave crematorium, and their remains were pulverized into dust, which was then thrown away. In November of 1989, 6 cult members raided the property of Tsutsumi Sakamoto. Sakamoto was an attorney who, at the time of his disappearance, was working on a class action lawsuit
what the
against
fuck? What is this? What is this? A little rabbit people? Like, huh? Little children? And that is weird. I'm sorry.
Organization. The followers strangled the man, his wife, and their 1-year-old baby.
Okay.
But the most notorious attack of all came on March 20th, 1995. It was rush hour in the Tokyo subway station when 5 bags of sarin gas, the toxic nerve agent, was left to leak into the jam-packed trains. In a matter of seconds, thousands of people began to gasp for their lives as the toxins entered their lungs. Many people lost their sight while some were paralyzed. Authorities confirmed that at least 5,800 people were injured and 13 had perished that day.
Damn!
Investigations proved Shinriko as the group responsible for the attack. Asahara was arrested and his headquarters were shut down. The leader was later convicted of multiple murders and sentenced to death in 2004.
Jeez.
On July 6, 2018, despite all his appeals, Asahara was executed by hanging. As for his group, nothing has been heard from them since.
Jeez. That got a little
Number
bit
2.
more violent.
The Matamoros killings. Matamoros, a Mexican border town near Brownsville, Texas, was a famous travel destination for spring breakers. However, in 1989, something so horrific happened in this place, it forever tainted its name. During this time, Adolfo de Jesus Constanzo, who was nicknamed the Godfather of Matamoros, led a cult that practiced human sacrifice.
What
They
the fuck?
performed this morbid ritual at the Rancho Santa Elena, a remote desert compound close to Matamoros. Constanzo claimed that their sacrifices would make one invisible to the authorities, while his clairvoyance allowed him to predict when the police would conduct a raid.
Or he has this thing called a radio, or like one of those police radios. I don't know if it's the same in Mexico, but he has one of those that's able to pick up. Hey guys, guess what? My psychic vibrations are telling me they're about to raid us. Turn the radio off. Turn the radio off real quick. My psychic vibrations are telling me they're about to raid us really soon. What else to say? Tomorrow, 12 in the afternoon. No, in the midnight. Midnight, guys. Okay. Okay, be prepared. Make sure you're wearing clothes so they don't get you while you're naked. And turn off the fucking radio, Bill. I'm sorry. It's just, yeah. Or you could have a person on the inside. Be like, yo, here's some money. Here's some money. Take some of this. You guys are doing what now? You're going to be here tomorrow? Okay, tomorrow at what time? 3 o'clock? Okay, cool. My psychic vibrations are telling me tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Simple. Like, come on, people.
Drug dealers and kingpins often came to Costanzo for his spells. On one occasion, Costanzo called on his followers to find him a smart, handsome, intelligent, and most importantly, American man to sacrifice. Fate had it that on March 11, 1989, American college student Mark Kilroy was in Matamoros together with his friends.
Great.
The 21-year-old was the epitome of an all-American boy next door. He had blonde hair, a well-built body,
that looks more brown,
pre-med course, and he was also athletic. If there was one man Costanzo wanted, it was Kilroy. The cult kidnapped, tortured, and eventually sacrificed the young man by chopping his head off with a machete and eating his boiled brains. This was supposed to grant them immunity from the authorities, but instead, was the very thing that led to the cult's undoing. Kilroy's friends quickly reported him missing, but with no clues, there wasn't much the authorities could do. It wasn't until April 1st that a break in the case came. Mexican police at the border checkpoint were stunned when a pickup truck sped through without stopping. Apparently, the driver, a member of Costanzo's cult, was supposed to be invisible to the authorities thanks to the sacrifice.
Dude, let's say you are invisible, right? Just you, not your car. You dumb idiot. I get, they're not going to catch me. I'm invisible. But he thinks his car's invisible too. Like, he can move his invisibility through to his fucking car and turn like the invisible plane or invisible jet from fucking Wonder Woman. Like, come on. Dude, oh my gosh. Idiot.
Police suspected drug-related activities, so instead of turning on their sirens and giving chase, they decided to follow the truck silently. The truck then led them to the Rancho Santa Elena, where the police found what they had suspected. The ranch was stacked with drugs, guns, and bullets, but that was far from the worst part. After an investigation and several interrogations, authorities discovered something way worse than just drugs. Buried on the compound were the mutilated bodies of 27 sacrificed victims.
What the hell?
Most of them were homeless, sex workers, or drug addicts, which is why their disappearance never made headlines. However, mixed in among them was the body of Mark Kilroy. The grotesque nature of Kilroy's death gained attention all over the world.
Okay, he's definitely not blonde.
Pressure, a large-scale manhunt for Adolfo Costanzo ensued. On May 6th, the reports came that Costanzo was at an apartment complex in Mexico City. The police raided the apartment and were met with an intense gun battle. However, eventually, the cult was overpowered. Police rushed in to arrest Costanzo, but he had already committed suicide. Those who survived the clash were tried by the court and convicted for the murders committed at the Rancho Santa Elena. But despite the case being solved, police still suspect there may be more victims whose remains have yet to be recovered. As for the cult, nothing has been heard from them since that raid in '89.
Good. Hopefully
Number
it stays
one,
that way.
The Anthill Kids.
What is that?
The Anthill Kids was founded by the highly charismatic Roche Thoralt in 1977.
Huh?
He convinced his members to leave their families and join him in a secluded community where they could live in unity and equality and be free from sin. He told his members to build an entire town in the mountains of Saint-Georges, Quebec, which he called Eternal Mountain. His people worked relentlessly, like worker ants on a hill. Thus the name Anthill Kids was coined. While the cult's practices then were somewhat strange, it wasn't
skinny as hell.
At least not yet. Once the Eternal Mountain was established, Roche once again urged his community to move to a new site near Burnt River, Ontario in 1984. It was there that things became increasingly dark. Roche had a drinking problem, and it only got worse once they moved.
Great.
Eventually, his leadership revolved around abuse and harsh punishment to those who failed to please him. Shockingly, however, the Anthill Kids' numbers continued to grow. Roche had married all the single women in his group and impregnated each one of them.
Jeez.
If that wasn't bad enough, Thoralt's atrocities continued to become more extreme and violent. Soon he started making members break their own legs with sledgehammers or sit on lit stoves as punishment. When there was a feud, he would make the involved parties shoot each other. At its worst, he would also sometimes command followers to cut another person's toes with wire cutters just to prove their loyalty to him. The children weren't spared either. Testimonies indicate that the children were sexually abused and inflicted with extreme pain. One time he had some little children nailed on trees while others threw stones at them. The horrifying acts didn't end there. Believing himself to have healing powers, he began performing dangerous surgical operations, which all ended up in major injuries or sometimes death. One appalling operation he performed was on Solange Bollard. He made her lie on a table, punched her in the stomach, and then rammed a plastic tube into her rectum and poured olive oil and molasses inside. As
Why?
The woman screamed in agony. He cut her abdomen with a knife and ripped out her intestines with his bare hands.
What the fuck is wrong with
Bollard
him?
died the next day.
Yeah.
A former member, Gabrielle Lavallee, tried to escape after Thoralt cut off her breast, smashed her head in with the blunt side of an axe, and cut off her fingers. When she returned, the leader amputated her entire arm using a chainsaw. Thoralt's arrest finally came in 1989 after Lavallee had fled the commune once again. This time she contacted the authorities instead of returning.
Good.
Turns out the provincial police had long been suspicious of the community. However, due to legalities, they were unable to conduct an investigation.
Stupid fucking legal
Lavallee's
shit.
testimonies paved way for them to finally bring Roche to justice. He was convicted for multiple charges, including abuse and murder. He was sentenced to life in prison in 1993, and meanwhile, the Anthill Kids disbanded. On February 26, 2011, 63-year-old Thoralt was murdered while serving his prison time at Dorchester Penitentiary. So there were 5 lesser-known but truly creepy cults.
Jeez.
Strange and sadistic cults make us question how such people still exist. In our time, such stories seem like they belonged centuries ago. However, behind the hustle and bustle of our modern lives, there are still hundreds, if not thousands, of cults hiding away.
I do not like the ill.
If you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe.
All right, just looking at the suggested videos, the scariest ghost stories and mysterious occurrences in Antarctica's frozen wasteland, probably. I don't know. Whatever that is. That looks interesting because, I don't know. Anyways, I see. Okay, the very, very first one, Rawlism, that was not creepy. It was a bit silly. It might have been a bit, strange, but it wasn't as bad as fucking the last two. The last two were ridiculous. Why does it say Tomorrow's killing? Is that what he called it? Is that what they were called? That it says tomorrow. Anyways, let me know if I should react to some other cult stuff. This was creepy. It's no bueno. I thought there was gonna be more religious cults, like the first one, like Rawlism, right? I thought there was gonna be more stuff like that, or I thought there was gonna be like a kind of like a crazy Christian cult that that spread off and was like, we must do this and stab people for Jesus to love you, or I don't know. A different side of Catholicism where they think it's okay to touch children, and that's why popes or fathers or whatever, pastors like to touch children because it's part of a cult or some shit. I don't know. Thankfully, hopefully that's not a thing. I'm really hoping that's not a thing. But it would explain a lot if it was. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what else I should react to in the comment section below. If there's other cult videos that I should react to, let me know in the comment section below. Like I said, Scary Mysteries. I feel like this is a good channel to really dive into some really weird and obscure mysteries. Like the terrifying abduction of Danielle Nicole Van Dam. I don't know what happened there, but I'm interested in seeing what happened. Like, I've never heard of it, so I'm interested. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe for more content just like this, and I'll see you guys next time.